Alex Hormozi's $100 million advice for e-commerce brand owners might just be the most important playbook for your brand this decade. I've studied his recent book and pulled out the most important lessons for us as e-commerce founders. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the 5 biggest takeaways so that you can scale your brand to 6-figure months and beyond. Now today, I'm not just summarizing his book, I'm mixing the theory from his book to the practice that I've seen in my own experience of e-commerce. Now, to understand where the framework from this book comes from is Alex Hormozi. Now, he is, if you're not aware of who Alex Hormozi is already, he is one of the biggest voices for how to grow your business online. And he's released 3 books in his $100 million series. His first was about offers, second about leads, and this is his 3rd book, which is all about money models, how we can get systems in place, how we can make sure money flows through our business so we can scale and generate consistent profits. Now, where am I coming from with this analysis? Well, why listen to me? I've now generated my own e-commerce brand up to £1.5 million in revenue. I've also automated and outsourced the businesses of my clients so that they can generate over 100k a month and scale from that position as well. And what I've learned is that a lot of people have the same barriers that they need to break through in order to scale beyond 100k a month. And they need to have the systems and the team in place that allows them to create true business freedom, which is what I'm focusing my work on at the moment. So what is lesson number 1 as we break down the 5 biggest takeaways from Alex Hormozi's book? Lesson number 1 is that systems will beat attraction every time. So what he's saying with this part is that acquisition is pointless unless your business can handle the growth. So in an e-commerce sense, this means if you're continually thinking about your ad campaign and generating new sales, you're forgetting that your business has to keep customers happy. It has to make consistent profits. We need smooth fulfillment, and we need to make sure that we're making enough money per customer. So Hormozi's quick to make the point that it's relatively straightforward to generate sales if you've got the right offer and the right products on your site. It's all about how we actually keep customers, how we make sure that fulfillment and service quality is consistent with systems and infrastructure in place that allows you to get the repeat business because your customers are happy, they've had good experiences, and so they'll come back for more. The key lesson here is that we need to put in place proper operational systems, otherwise growth will become the enemy. So we need to have the operations, the infrastructure in place to handle scale consistently and give a quality customer service every single time. And there's multiple ways to do that. But if you don't do that, then growth will become your biggest enemy. Now, on to lesson number 2 from Hormozi's most recent book. And that's how money models will work in sequences. And what he means by that is that by winning e-commerce businesses, will have different offers to give to your customers throughout their customer journey. And because the way to do this wrong is that a lot of e-commerce brand owners will set up a product, maybe add an upsell in some way, and then forget about the rest and think that's enough to generate as high a lifetime value as possible. Well, Alex Hormozi breaks it down into 4 main ways, and this is how we can apply it to e-commerce. Firstly, yes, we need an attractive offer on the front end. What is that product? What's the offer that you're providing to your customer that will bring them in with an irresistible value? And then how do we upsell those customers with bundles when they're going through your checkout experience in order to increase their lifetime value? What other products can you put alongside the main product that they're buying in order to overall increase the value and get them to purchase while they're already in purchase mode? And then how are you downselling? If they don't take your upsell, have you got a downsell, a smaller bundle that comes afterwards, maybe in the checkout process or on the thank you page? And then beyond that, we need to think about continuity as well. How can we build in recurring revenue to our business? Perhaps in your email sequence on the thank you follow-up after a customer's purchased your main product, how can we offer them a subscription service? Or how can we get them into a loyalty program? How can we make sure that there's an offer somewhere that means that we've got continued revenue coming in on a subscription basis, some kind of continuity model? For example, if you're selling running trainers as your first offer, maybe on the back end, can you offer people the gels on a monthly subscription or a weekly subscription to have running gels while they're out and about, or a magazine? So the key here is that we are maximizing the lifetime value per customer and we're capturing every type of buyer. So we're not wasting traffic that comes to the store. Now, on to lesson number 3 from Hormozi's book, and that is that cash flow speed will determine your scale. And the key point he makes here is that we need to, within 30 days, we need to recoup the cost to acquire a customer. Otherwise, our scaling will stall because we won't have the cash in order for us to scale. So the way we do that in an e-commerce sense is think about things like with your suppliers, can we have credit terms in place so we've got more time to pay off the supplier? And let's think about the payment methods that your customers are using and how quickly that cash gets into your business. Also, we need to have a keen eye on how much we're making from the customer within the first 30 days, rather than thinking about how much we make over the course of 90, 120 days or a year. Because if you aren't making that cash back quickly, you're going to run out of cash to invest in marketing to generate more and more customers. And to put numbers to this, he says that it's a 2 to 3x revenue multiplier if you can get predictable cash flow in place and you can recoup your cost to acquire a customer within 30 days. Think about that for your business. If you could 2 or 3x the revenue that you're generating next month, what impact would that make for you? And the way we do that is by getting that cash back very quickly within 30 days to acquire your customer. Now, lesson number 4 from Hormozi's book is all about having systems in place to maximize every customer. So similar to the point about sequences from lesson number 2, this is all about systems to maximize customers. And Hormozi talks about how it's actually built into your business as a system rather than it needing to be manually done. So for example, when we upsell a customer, are you depending on your virtual assistant or your admin reaching out or sending something to your customers to provide an upsell? Or is it built into the checkout process? Have you got a loyalty program that's sent out in an automated email that is used to get customers to come back? Something I do with my virtual assistants is I ask them to contact every single customer that receives a product to request a review so that we can have a wider bank of reviews to get more customers in the future. And it's systems like this that are built in. So tools in the upsell, in the checkout process, but also systems and people to do these things on a repeatable basis so you know that you're maximizing every single customer. So we've talked about how we can increase the value of our customers by 2 or 3x by doing these things that we talked about today. And how can you build in a continuity model to your business so that you've got monthly recurring revenue coming in without you needing to lift a finger every single month. So the key insight here is that when you get to 10k a month, initially you're just focusing on attracting a customer and selling them your main product. Beyond that, we need to maximize the value that each customer provides to us, because the more we make per customer means the more we can spend to acquire a customer, and therefore we'll beat our competition when we've got more money to be able to spend on acquiring a new customer. And finally, on to the 5th takeaway, and that is that simple scales and fancy fails, because complexity kills growth. And in my business journey, I'm on a consistent journey of how can I make sure I don't overcomplicate things? How can I keep the systems that we use so simple that I can bring people on and I can get them to do the system over and over again repeatably to a high standard? And that only comes when we keep things simple. And the way Hormozi puts it is he talks about how businesses will implode if they add on complexity before they've nailed the basics. And the way that you can apply this to your business is think about what systems, what infrastructure, what SOPs do you have in place to make sure that it's simple for people to follow the business without doing all fancy things that you want to add to the business and get carried away. How can you make sure you're maximizing the amount of money you make per customer, and how quickly you get your cash back, and how you can provide the best customer service in a systemized way so that you can continue scaling that business. And the way to know if you're doing this right is that when you've got the systems in place, it should feel boring. It should not feel chaotic. Every day you should know that things are going to be handled, and you as a business owner should really just be looking at things that excite you, that are on the top level, systemizing, looking at the ads, looking how much we're making per customer, and not getting involved in the weeds of the day-to-day operation. So to apply these 5 lessons today, your next steps are these. Firstly, you need to get the right foundations in place. Perfect your operations before pushing to scale, and make sure your cash flow is coming back in quickly in order for you to scale without running out of cash. Apply these lessons into your business and you'll be able to scale without chaos. Now, my work recently has all been about how I can systemize the businesses for my e-commerce founders that I work with so they can grow to 6-figure months and beyond. And I've done that now successfully with multiple people, including my own business. So if you'd like my help in putting systems in place so that you can focus on growing your business without getting lost in the day-to-day operations and burning out, then simply book in a call with the link below and we can chat about how I can apply this to your business. So with that said, hope you enjoyed the video today, and I'll catch you in the next one.